I think a lot of us fitness entrepreneurs, we don't understand that self-deprecating, like feeling like a failure. We just don't think like that, right? But most of the members that come in, they beat themselves up quite a bit.
Hey, welcome to another great episode of the Gym Owners Growth Zone podcast, the show designed to help gym owners improve and grow their businesses. I'm your host, Andres Escobar, and I'm so grateful to have you join us today. On today's episode, we have the second part of Kyle's interview about his daily habits, growth hacks, and self-development. One of the key aspects we discuss is the concept of Kaizen, which it emphasizes taking small but consistent steps towards our goals. According to Kyle, it is this commitment to continuous improvement that's ultimately determined the success of his endeavors. If you haven't listened to part one, where he shares more insights about his life and the path he is on right now, please do yourself a favor and check that one out as we speak. So I'm not telling you to stop, but make sure you check it out later. As a gym owner and managing partners of Keep Booked, he's leading a digital marketing company. Kyle Henning has more than 10 years of experience in the fitness industry. He has run multiple gyms with great success and now uses his fitness expertise to help others expand their gym with marketing. If this is your first time listening to our show, please consider subscribing and to the podcast and share this episode with someone whom you think will really enjoy it. As we dive into this episode, listen to how Kyle continues to share his story.
Dude, and this is like the best intro because this has just been intro. I haven't asked you a question, seriously, right? So, but I do have a question that I wanted to really unpack, and it's in your perspective. You know, we're about to go. By the way, we're about to go into the dark side here, right? So, in your perspective, what is one biggest thing or issue the fitness industry has right now that needs to be overcome? And I think you kind of like tippy-toed around a couple things, but I want you to really like grasp it and just like tell us, you know, no holds bar.
Gosh, there's so many issues, but if I were to say
Right.
one, like I'm going to come at this from a marketing perspective, right?
Okay.
So I don't care how nice your fitness club is, right? I don't care like how educated your trainers are, right? How jacked they are. If you can't get people to come into your club, you're gonna go bankrupt, and you're not gonna help anyone, right? And these younger, like in the fitness world, we're hiring a lot younger people, right? We're hiring that 18 to 25 is a lot of the people that are working, and technology has made it very challenging. I feel like people's communication skills in the 18 to 25 range are very poor. They're used to texting. They hate making phone calls. And this is a people business. And you do not build relationships via text message. You got to date these people essentially, right? And
Right.
if you were to date people via only text and you never have a conversation and you get married, I'm just going to go on a limb here and say that marriage probably ain't going to go very well when you actually have to like talk face to face, right? And it's the same with the fitness industry. You know, we're generating leads for some of these businesses, and the club staff, they're not calling them. They're not following up. They're nervous to make phone calls. I
Sure.
think like that's one of the biggest issues is we really want to help people. You can't help them only via text message. You've got to pick up the phone. You've got to communicate. You've got to be able to go out when you see a member, you know, doing a lat pull down behind their neck, cranking their head forward. You got to be able to go and explain why like that's not safe, and give them an alternative, right? Or when you see someone who looks super self-conscious and they're nervous and they're hiding in the corner, you got to be able to acknowledge that and go out there and communicate with them and say like, hey, good to see you. Can I help you with anything? I'd love to show you an exercise. That it's all communication's the key to every relationship. And I feel like in this industry with some of these kids that have been raised on a cell phone and an iPad. Um, they're lacking some communication skills, and we're working in an environment with some really vulnerable people, right? I mean, I've been told by members several times, like, hey, I pulled up into your parking lot 8 times before I had the courage to come into a fitness facility,
Wow.
right? And
Wow.
so if they finally work up the courage to come in, they need to be met warmly with a smile. They need to be met with a handshake and eye contact, right? And you need to have the skills to ask this person what their goal is and dig, right? I mean, I can't tell you how many times someone goes into a fitness club and they say, like, what's your goal? I just want to feel better. Okay. And they write that down. That is not their goal, right? That they may not even know what their goal is. Like, they need to ask, like, well, feel better. What part of you doesn't feel
That's
good
an
now?
elusive. That's an elusive answer,
Yeah.
right? Like, what does that mean?
Tell me
Like,
more.
you want what kind of drug do you want
Yeah.
to feel better? Like, what am I going to give you? I don't understand this. Like, yeah, dude, no.
So I just feel like communication skills are lacking, and it's not that it's a fear thing. You got to overcome your fears if you work in fitness, and you owe it to the people, the members of your facility, to be better at communicating. And I got to tell you, like, I'm going to brag up on my staff here. I have great staff at our club right now, and they're fantastic communicators, and they're just doing a brilliant job. And when you have it, you see it, and when you talk to a club that doesn't have it, you see that too, right? And so I feel like, yeah, I get upset when people are just trying to sell memberships, and then they forget about members, and they're not helping people get results.
They're selling, right? And it's like, that's why selling gets such a bad rap and people don't want to do it. I think, and I know that when people have a mentality as a doctor and are prescribing, but first they need to listen, and they prescribe the right, not medication, prescription. Let's just call it prescription. Whether that be this exercise or this routine or change this habit, that needs to happen, because selling membership, selling software, selling marketing, selling whatever, it doesn't matter. It's about the service and prescribing the right at the right time. So that's it. I love that. That's so good, because it's, and again, and I want to, oh gosh, something else that just pops to mind is like, if you have somebody at the front desk and they're just there, whatever, man, thinking like filing their nails, or nowadays nobody does that really. They're looking at their phones.
Yep.
Now, are you doing our social media? What are you doing? Like, you shouldn't be doing your own thing there. You should be looking out for people that are doing the wrong movements, in the corner. Like, read the room. Your job should be reading the room. You're not front desk. You're the front of the house, right? You're basically the host.
Yeah.
That's not, I think, the mentality. You should have that hostess mentality.
You should have a relationship with every member that comes in that gym, right? You should know their name.
Yeah.
You should know what their goal is. You should know they have kids, what they do for a job, right? Like, people will not quit on someone they really like. They'll quit a gym all day long.
Yeah.
But you know how hard it is to go in and cancel a gym membership from someone who really respects you and you like, right? They don't want to do it.
Yeah. No.
So yeah, that's I feel like the biggest weakness in fitness right now is just a lack of communication.
Like communication, like, yeah. And I'll just add to that, like, a lack of the right people in the right seats.
Yeah.
Doing the like, looking for the room, like reading, like communication. Oh my goodness. Yes. Communication. Let's just go back to that. Communication to me is like, I like to say the analogy of throwing a ball. So if you're throwing a ball, I'm throwing a ball with you, Kyle, I'm communicating with you, right? I'm throwing the ball to you. If I throw that ball right to you, right here to your chest, great, you're going to catch it. If I throw it to you like 2 feet away, I got to go running. I'm like, I don't want to work to catch the ball. Same thing with communication. I don't want to work to try to understand you. And it's just our form of communication. And so, yeah, communication needs to be improved big time.
Yep.
Make it easy for people. Just call them.
Pick up the
No
phone.
texting.
Pick up the phone.
Pick up the phone. Love it. Cool. I'm going to go now to our Fast Five. And that's 5 questions where I just go furious five, I guess you can call it. And so just answer and we'll move on. And I got one last question, our caveat question at the end. And then we'll call it a wrap. But here it is. Who is an influential person or people in your business journey?
Well, Jeff, first and foremost, like he's been so successful with so many different things. It's my business partner, Jeff. I recently went to an event at church, and it was about generosity. And we think of generosity always financial, right? But they talked about being generous with your time. And I got to call out Stacy Anderson, the president of Anytime Fitness. She's the most generous person with her time I've ever seen. She's extremely busy, but she'll make time if you need it. And I, it's probably not fair because I have a good relationship with her, and so I probably get more time than the average franchisee. But I built that relationship over time, right? And to be the president of that large of a company, and I can get her on the phone or again I call, right? She'll answer questions. She listens. And so she's an inspiration. She's a lot busier than I am, but she never acts like it. And I think as a business owner, you can act busy frequently, right? And I mean, like the last 2 times you called, I don't think I've answered, Andres. I've been so busy, right? But like, it reminds you, like, hey, she's a lot busier than I am, but she always calls back. She always picks up the phone. And so she's an inspiration for sure.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Good to have those people right there that kind of help you. Like, oh man, I gotta also emulate that.
I've got one more.
A mentor.
Uh,
One more? Yeah, one more. Good. All right.
Rick Mayo.
Oh yeah.
Rick is an inspiration because Rick reminds me that no matter how successful you become, and he's wildly successful, he owns Alloy personal training franchise. Rick reminds me that you don't ever have to act better than anyone else. You don't have to act like you've made it. He's the most like humble, calm, cool, collected dude ever. He's so good at asking you questions. He never makes it about himself. Yeah, so he's an inspiration. Just his humility is inspiring.
Yeah, I think for all the gym owners that are, experiencing, the growth in their club, and they're growing and growing, and they want to like add more clubs, and yeah, that's a good wake up call. Like, hey guys, you don't need to really, it's just stay cool.
Yeah,
I love it.
Stay classy, San Diego.
Yeah. That's right. That's from Full House, right?
No, Anchorman.
Anchorman.
Yep.
Sorry. There you go. My bad.
Yeah, you won't. I'm not quoting Full House today.
I know. I was like, that Full House? I don't know why. It's San Diego. That's because, anyways. Next question. So, what's one thing you wish you had known when you began your business?
That's a great question. There's like 100 things. Number one,
right. And just the first thing that pops in your head
is get a good CPA. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like most entrepreneurs are relationship people, right? They build relationships. They value relationships, which naturally makes you good at sales. It doesn't, and you're focused on relationships and sales and growth and expansion. And you're not focused on the numbers enough. And so like, get a good CPA, a good bookkeeper, and know the difference, like, between a bookkeeper and a CPA, right? Don't be asking.
Accountant, CPA,
Yes.
bookkeeper, daily, transactional, then make sure everything's going the right place. And so the accountant's job is a lot easier. So, yeah, I get that's great.
Yep.
I love that.
Make sure you're paying the right amount of taxes. Make sure you're putting the right amount away, right? Like, that's the other thing is like, I wish I knew. I spent so much money on fun when I started making money and buying a bunch of dumb stuff that I didn't need, that I just wanted. And I look at people like Jeff. Jeff didn't blow money when he was younger. He invested it in things that made him money, passive income, right? And so I wish I knew that earlier on, big time.
But don't beat yourself up, because I had Jeff on the show, and he started off with gas stations, right? And so, I'm sure he had his trials and his learning and his like things. So he brought that over to this business, and that business now expanding and growing. So I love it. The next one is, what's a book, blog, podcast, or media that you recently consumed that has positively impacted you?
You said recently, so that changes my
Yes.
answer. Recently,
Okay,
I read a
good.
book called The Joy Choice. And
Okay.
the joy, I don't know the author, but I can tell you if you're in fitness, read that book. It talks about the psychology behind people who want to get in shape and people who actually do. For example, I know this is rapid fire, but one quick lesson. They did a study
Oh,
on.
you've been breaking the rules all through the whole interview, bro. Like this is like, no worries. Don't start.
Don't start following the rules now. Yeah.
Don't fall totally now.
So in the book,
Yeah,
they
no
talk
worries.
about people who start fitness with a goal of coming 2 times a week to a gym compared to people who want to come 3 or more times. And the likelihood of success with people whose goal is twice a week is like 3 or 4 times more than people who want to come 3 or more times a week. And if you think about it, like if your goal is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, well, first of all, Monday's a tough day, right? It's busy. Your first day of the week. Let's say you get busy and you don't make it in. Now you feel like a failure already. You failed day one of the week. So now you think like, oh, I'll just start next Monday, right? I already failed. Where if your goal is twice a week, maybe you do Tuesday, Thursday, right? You could do Monday, Thursday. You could do Monday, Friday. You could do Tuesday, Saturday. The options like expand so much. And so understanding
Right.
the psychology, I think a lot of us fitness entrepreneurs, we don't understand that self-deprecating, like feeling like a failure. We just don't think like that, right? But most of the members that come in, they beat themselves up quite a bit. And that book helped me to understand the psychology behind how most of the people that come into the gym think, and the difference between how I think and how they think, and how it just helped me to be able to relate.
Goal is a beautiful word to hear when you're scoring on the soccer field. This last World Cup was won by Argentina because of one important player. Yeah, you got it. It was the goalie. He secured the win for the team, and in the same way, ReviewBiz platform will catch negative reviews before they go online. In addition, it helps you score and promote fresh new reviews so you can crush the competition. So don't let those big box gyms take your clients. ReviewBiz will help you build your online presence and turn your own members into your best sales reps. Get your first 5 reviews for only $1. All you got to do is go to reviewbiz.io/try to get started. Give us the name of the book again.
The Joy Choice.
The Joy Choice. Awesome. We'll put it in the show notes for sure. And the next question, I think we kind of talked about this earlier, was what's your favorite online tool that you have?
Oh, gosh. Right after I went on this giant rant about like making phone calls, right? I would say, I don't know, the Google Drive. Like I live, breathe, and sleep the Google Drive. My life would fall apart if I didn't have Google and the Google Drive. Everything's stored on there. I can access all of my documents anywhere in the world from the Google Drive. Um, uh, uh, I'm an Apple guy, but you just download
Yeah.
the Google Drive app on all your devices and you have everything.
Right.
And so,
Well, I think you were going to talk about like credit card points. Wasn't that something?
thank you.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
also have ADD, obviously.
No worries. I remember that. That's okay.
So thank you. I got into this a long time ago, and I'm so blessed. If you're an entrepreneur and you own a gym, you're buying a lot of stuff. You're buying supplies for your gym. You're buying new equipment. You should be buying new equipment and updating things, right? You're taking your staff out to dinner. You should be traveling to conferences and learning more, right? You should be paying for services like ReviewBiz, this great company that helps you get Google reviews. And I'm shocked at how many business owners in general, they're putting it all on like a debit card and they're not getting any rewards for the money they're spending.
Right.
Jeff and I travel the world and a lot of it's for free. We use credit cards and we selectively use the ones that get us the right points. We don't pay $1 of interest. I keep hearing this from owners like, well, I don't want to use a credit card. I don't want to pay any interest. Well, then don't. like, put a charge on there and pay it off instantly, right? So I encourage everyone, like, start getting points and using points. I'm a huge Delta Sky Miles rewards person, so I have the American Express Delta Sky Miles cards. We use the Capital One business card. You get points you can use on any airline. So start getting points. And if anything, store those points up and take your spouse on a trip to Europe or somewhere fun and get away and let the business pay you back a little bit and take some time off. I think we all need to take more time off.
Love it. No, for sure. For sure. Mental, man. You got to take some breaks.
Yeah.
I think that's something, you talked about traveling with Jeff, and I think that's a good learning point there. And I'm just going to piggyback. So you mentioned Review Biz. Thank you, by the way. But speaking of Review Biz and online presence, what is your take? What do you think the importance is? And obviously running a marketing company, I think your insight would be great. What do you think the importance of the online presence? What should people like really focus on and think about when thinking about online presence?
This is what's called asking for a plug. For those of you who don't know, Andres did it. He did it really well.
Well, you plugged me already, so I don't really need that, right?
No, I love it. I love your business, and I'm a happy customer. And we've referred a ton of people to you. I'm not just saying that. So, from a marketing perspective, our job is to get attention for your gym, right? And in a perfect world, the best lead we could ever generate doesn't just click on a Facebook ad, doesn't just watch a YouTube video, doesn't just see a Google ad, right? They may see a Facebook ad and they do their homework. That's the best lead. They're like, oh, that's interesting. Tell them I need to learn more about this place, right? And they Google your business. And what's one of the first things they see is Google reviews, right? They see the amount of Google reviews and they should read them. I do it for restaurants all the time, right? I'm not shopping fitness clubs myself. So I'm not using it for fitness, but I want to read the reviews.
You go to Amazon, you look at the reviews. Yeah. That's this natural.
It's natural. And so an example is you could pay a lot of money for marketing. Again, you could have a beautiful gym with great staff, but if someone sees the ad I place for you, and then they go to Google and they have terrible reviews complaining about all this stuff, or they just don't have enough. They're like, okay, the gym with the Facebook ad I saw, they have 20 reviews. But this other gym a mile away has 400 reviews. Which one am I clicking on? And I got to tell you, Andres, the worst thing a gym owner can do is pay for marketing to get someone to click on someone else's Google and sign up somewhere else. That stings.
You lost your shot. You basically blew your shot.
Yeah.
That's it. You spend that money, and now because somebody and interesting, can I share with you this like new term in our industry, my industry here? It's OGC and UGC. So UGC I've been talking about a lot, but I didn't realize what OGC is. It's not original gangster, nothing like that. It's called organizational generated content. And then UGC is user generated content. So people first find you, like your website, that's organizational created content, generated content. Mm-hmm. And then the UGC is the reviews. It could be the video testimony. It could be the user, or maybe social media posts that somebody posted on a video in your gym. That's user generated content. Free, by the way. You don't really have to, go do a lot for that. But yeah, dude, I mean, it's important. Like they work together hand in hand. Your OGC could be really nice, but your UGC could be like crap, and then that buyer journey just gets cut. Like, oh, done. I'm not going down that path. I'm going somewhere else. I think that's what you're saying. I just kind of clouded the water in a little bit because it's a lot of jargon that I've just been like, I'm deep in this. I'm so deep in it that it's like, I got to share it. So thank you for letting me share. But dude, you're so right. You're so right. And
be competitive.
And I thank you.
Don't own a gym if you don't want good Google reviews. And then when you start to get them, if you're not, like, I remember when I first started with you, I was like, we'll use Review Biz till we get to like 150 Google reviews. And now I'm like, I want to get to 250. And then it's like, maybe I could get 500, right? And if you can get 500 Google reviews, imagine the impact if you got 1,000.
Big impact.
Huge.
Huge.
Like it's going to be, and we've had people come into the gym, and the hardest thing in sales, I think, is just to get to know them, right? Qualify them, give them a good tour, and then present and shut up, right? Let them make a decision. And sometimes, like when they're taking too long, you're tempted to talk, right? To sell. And not long ago, and I'm not in the gym that much anymore. I have good staff, right? But I have to cover from time to time. And I was in there, and my sales skills are probably a little rusty, right? And I'm trying to sell, and this lady's like, listen, you can stop talking. I read all your reviews. Like, I know this is the place I want to be at, right? And I was like, boom, mic drop. It works.
This is recent?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Oh, no. Oh, wow.
Yep.
That's awesome.
And so she was like, because I sometimes I downsell, right? Like, hey, if you want to check out our competitor, you go right ahead. And she's like, nah, I don't need to. They had bad reviews. You had good reviews. Like, I'm going to trust the reviews. And she signed up. And so that's like full circle how it comes around. But I can't say enough
dude.
Good.
No wonder, man. You guys have been referring some top quality gyms to us, and we appreciate it. Yeah, no, that's awesome. Thank you for that. By the way, the online presence is important. I think that's just enough said. We could talk for hours on any of these topics, and for sure. But there is one topic that I like to talk about. It's like habits. What is a practice or habit that you do and you believe everybody would benefit from doing?
Love that question. So I hate reading books. I really, really it's hard for me to focus. I've learned I can't do it at night. My mind's going 100 miles an hour, and I can read 10 pages and not remember anything.
Or fall asleep, by the way. That's what I do. At night, forget it. That's bedtime story. I don't care what it is.
And so I force myself every morning, and I don't want to say every morning. I take the weekends off as like a reward to myself. But Monday through Friday, I read at least 10 pages in a book. And not like a fun book, like an educational book, like the Joy Choice that I recommended. You always be learning, right? And sometimes I read a book and I get one good thing out of it. That's it. But that one thing is valuable. And so literally 10 pages a day, that's 50 pages a week. That's one habit that I'm happy I have and I would recommend. Is just always be learning.
Yeah, love it. I'm baby steps right now. I'm 5 pages a day.
All right, yeah.
So that's where I'm at. Dude, that's good. 10 pages, guys. I think it doesn't take. How long does it take you to do that?
Like 12 minutes. I mean, and I'm not a fast reader.
Right.
So if you can't commit to 12 minutes a day, you got other problems.
Come on, man. Yeah. And in the morning, do it.
Yeah.
Just get it done out of the way.
What's that?
Done.
Eat the frog, right?
Eat the Frog, Brian Tracy, for
Just
sure.
get it done.
I love it. I love dropping book names here. I love it. This is so good. Guys, this is the caveat. I love this question, and I hope you do too. Kyle, if you were to go back in time and share one piece of advice with yourself, 12-year-old Kyle, what would you tell him?
Don't swing off that rope.
No, that was too easy. Come on, you got a better one. Come on.
Gosh, I'd say I hope people don't take this the wrong way, but
it's okay. They're gonna some will, some won't. It doesn't matter. Can't worry about that.
Don't date until you're 25 or 30.
Okay.
I honestly feel especially for men, you don't even really know who you are. And I've wasted so much time, money, and emotion when I was young, chasing women or and dating, and you don't know who you are. Guys are just not that mature, right? And some are, but you're not that mature. And if you're truly an entrepreneur and you want to grow, focus on being a good person. Focus on your personal growth, and I would say be the person you want to be with would want to be with, right? And a lot of young men aren't thinking about that. And I think like, um, uh, focus on being a good person, not trying to find this person. And I recently, you and I have talked a lot about this, about my dating life, right? And now I'm really opening up out here. But I recently met a very sweet gal named Katie, and I'm happy. And I feel like when you've been praying and praying and praying and praying and praying for something, and it happens, it's surreal. But I can
Right.
tell you, like, where I'm at today, I couldn't have done this at 25. I just didn't.
Sure.
I wasn't wise enough. I wasn't mature enough. And so it's weird advice, but like that's my advice. It goes for men and women. Like men are not mature until they're like 25 or 30. Like just
Yep.
stay away from them and like don't write them off, right? But work on yourself, and then you're a valuable asset then, right? Uh, be successful, and then the person that you really want to be with will be attracted to your wisdom and your success and your health. Take care of yourself, right? And you can be the pick of the litter if you work on yourself, or you can waste all this time on worthless relationships where you're learning the hard way.
Well, I think it also talks about the being more impactful, right? So you're working on yourself, and that way you could be more of an impact to the world and to the people around you.
Yeah,
Like, you know, I think it speaks volumes on, always improving. It's a Japanese kaizen. Kaizen is always improving, and so we never stop. But I think at times when we start dating and we don't know the right person, but we think they're the right person, start dating, and next thing you know, we go down like a couple years are wasted, and we're like, what the heck was that about? I said no to these other things when I should have said yes, and I said, oh, yeah. So I love it. This is good advice. Thank you so much, Kyle.
absolutely.
Appreciate it. Again, this is it. Thank you so much, Kyle, for coming on the show. I appreciate your nuggets of wisdom that you shared with us. Hopefully, we come back and see you again. Till next time, I'll see you. Thanks so
Love
much,
you, brother.
Kyle.
Take care. Thank you.
Yep. Bye.
Man, that was such a fun episode. I really enjoyed what Kyle said about cultivating and grooming yourself before looking for anything else. Ultimately, being the best version of yourself will attract the best for you. I hope you found this episode as informative and valuable as I did. What was your favorite takeaway from the episode? Connect with me. Make sure at MeetEsco and share the message with us. We would love to hear your thoughts. And I want to thank you so much for taking your time to listen to this episode. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the show on the platform you're currently listening on. And remember to leave us a rating and review so we can improve the show with your feedback. It would mean the world to us. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you didn't know, now you know. The YouTube channel is where you get the same amazing content plus even more. As always, I want to thank you so much for your encouragement, and I truly appreciate you listening to the podcast and helping us improve with your comments. And I'll be seeing you next time in the growth zone.